an aircraft belonging to Nigeria Air, the proposed national carrier, will arrive in the country on Friday, which is today, ahead of the commencement of operations. Sirika said the aircraft will be unveiled in Nigeria's colors of green and white to fulfill the promise made by government in the aviation sector. He also disclosed that the actualization of the vision was due to the unwavering resolve of the current administration. Now, news of the arrival of the aircraft comes amid disagreements by stakeholders over the ownership stake of the proposed national carrier. Last year, a federal high court in Lagos prohibited the federal government from selling the shares of Nigeria Air to Ethiopian Airlines, a judgment that ultimately halted the commencement of operations. But the minister in recent months had consistently insisted that the national carrier would fly before the end of the current administration. Sirika in March, April, and earlier this month announced that Nigeria Air will commence operations before May 29, and nothing would stop it. He also added to this that the stakeholder discontent over last-minute appointments in the sector, a good case being those of the National Airspace Management Agency as well as the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. Stakeholders believe the last-minute changes could affect the sector. They decry the non-confirmation of the replaced NAMA MD Puachok, who was appointed in acting capacity in February 2022 and has since exceeded the 6 months acting stewardship of the agency. Let's quote an industry pressure group aviation roundtable, which said, and I quote, "For 8 solid years, the Minister of Aviation appropriated the required governance structure under his personal control by neglecting to appoint the statutory governing boards required to aid the functions of the agencies and parastatals under him. The ART is of the opinion that these, amongst other actions taken by the minister, regressed rather than grow the organizations. The minister's direct control resulted in transactional rather than functional operations of the agencies, thereby impeding their progress," and he's written. Now, Victor Atewa is still with us, but we now have joining him Comrade Saidu Abdulrazak, who is the Secretary General of the Association of Nigerian Aviation Professionals. All right. Now, interestingly, let's step into this particular angle of the conversation. Victor, I'm going to start up with you, okay? So, the Nigerian Air is promised, right, by Hadi Sirika that before May 29 it will fly. But recently, we've been having a tussle within the aviation sector. Some of the those who work within the aviation sector have been complaining about a sense of bias, have been complaining about a sense of non-functionality rather than transactional procession within the sector. We do know that this sector is a viable sector that actually really contributes in terms of revenue generation within the country. We have a lot of Nigerians who actually apply this route, considering the fact that our roads are no longer safe, and there's a lot of stake in terms of investment as well in the aviation industry. Now, it obviously tells that, of course, there is money in that sector, and it's also not surprising to note that those who may be occupying the positions that steer that particular sector may not want to relinquish that. But Nigeria Air is meant to fly supposedly before May 29. We've not actually heard that, but there are issues. And these issues, do we think is going to stall the promise by Hadi Sirika that by May 29, the Nigeria national carrier will fly?
Well, okay, yeah, well said. You know, the minister, of course, promised that affirmatively said that today, which is Friday, I mean, we are expecting our national carrier in the country, of course, clothed with our, our beautiful flag. And Nigerians, of course, are abreast. We are waiting to see that happen. If that happens, it's a plus to the outgoing administration to say yes, for once they kept to their promise. So the day is still early, and of course, no, the day is still young. Let me use that word. The day is still young, so we're, of course, we're waiting to see what happens later in the day for the commissioning and, of course, the official launch of the Nigerian Airways, as opposed to the logo we launched, previously. So away from that, of course, there are lots of challenges affecting the aviation sector, and of course, there are, opera from workers, with a whole lot of complaints stating from the treatment of workers and all. You recall that there was a time for, I mean, the aviation sector wanted to go into yeah, I mean, to strike, yes. So they want to go into industrial strike, but of course, they wanted to reach an agreement, and that was cut off. So we really hope that of course there's nothing the minister can do aside from what he promised, that the aviation, I mean the Nigerian air carrier will start operation, and of course will be launched before the end of this administration. But as far as regards the and of course the whole issue affecting the aviation sector, that would be an
Okay.
other, strengthening that industry to help drive our economic growth.
All right then. Thank you very much, Victor Atewe. Now let me come to Comrade Saidu Abdul Razak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm coming to you now. I understand that we have your audio and we cannot get your video, but that's okay. That's okay. Now you are in the
Okay.
sector. You are in the aviation sector, and a lot
Yes.
of things has been happening. Now, we also know that Nigeria doesn't have a national carrier. Nigeria's national
Yes.
carrier folded up, and the reasons was basically corruption, and management being poor. Those were the reasons for why it folded up. Now, so far, it's been years now. So far, Nigeria has not been able to re-establish a national carrier. And we did a launch 2 years ago, thereabout, in London, and it was a laughable thing. But now the minister is saying it must happen before the end of this administration. And the minister did say that expect the first Nigeria airplane in Nigeria, I think today or tomorrow. What do you make of that statement?
Well, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, thank you. You see, when you see a magician deceiving public, you'll be thinking that he's doing things cool. All this thing he has been saying is just boo boo. Boo boo is that how many times has he promised that this will happen, this will happen, it will not happen? How many times? So look, it's not aircraft coming to Nigeria. It's a test flight by Ethiopia Airlines. Quote me. We have made all our inquiry. It's a test flight. And if that plane come today, you call me bastard. And if you come by force, we are going to grant it. All the whole professionals in the industry, they are very, very annoyed since yesterday.
Okay.
All the professionals in NAMA, professionals in NIMET are very much annoying. Okay. Because this man unilaterally, without the governing board of directors, thinking that he's going to be running the aviation as his own personal property. We said no. There is an act, there is law. He was misleading, misinforming the Federal Executive Council, misinforming the National Assembly, and we have been shouting, we have been sending a series of write-ups. Press conference, the last one that is the world press conference, we are not going back. Enough is enough, we are not going to take all these things. That is why we are calling on the incoming government to beam their flashlight on aviation. There are a lot of inconsistency, incompetency. There are a lot of corruption. There are many things you will talk of, corrupt tendencies. It's just true in aviation. Appointment, promotion, and so on and so forth. So we want them to put round peg to the round hole. We don't want the plane to be falling like before. Why are you removing core professionals? Because you wanted cover up. You wanted cover up of all the atrocities of the mismanagement of fund, mismanagement of the industry, because you cannot, as minister, you are a supervisor, you cannot run the parastatal on day to day. It is the governing board of directors, but you refuse President Muhammad Buhari nominated all these people, but he refused bluntly to inaugurate them. We reported him to the National Assembly. They asked him, he said there's interim board. Who is the chairman of interim board? You are the only one, and the permanent secretary is the secretary of the board. How can the three people be awarding billions of naira contract, and the Federal Executive Council they are approving money to him? And where is the money? They went and borrowed $500 billion from China for projects. Where is the project that spent the money for? So there are many things like that. Apart from this, we are tired. We wanted Nigerian air travelers to enjoy, to be safe. We wanted Nigeria to be safe. We are not going to do anything to truncate this handing over. We have held our meeting and we have told the world we are not being sponsored by anybody. It is we are being pushed to the wall. When you are driving boats and the goat now reach port, it will try to fight back. Now we want to fight back. We want to tell the Sirika that it is not bigger than the aviation workers. That is not bigger than Nigeria. That is not bigger than the air travelers. Okay. When you look at his background, you will know that it's just a one-man show. You are not going to take it. That is it.
All right then.
After handing over, we have called on the incoming government to first of all really reverse all this type of appointment, promotion, employment that he has done. That is one-sided.
I was going to ask you that. Does this mean that you're not in line with the promotions that has been done? Because there were over 20 appointments and promotions done in the past few days. This simply means that your unit. Pardon?
When you see that, yes, hello?
Go on.
When you see that air traffic controllers are not happy, fire and safety are not happy, aviation security are not happy, the core professionals and administrative cadres, they were not happy. What do you think will come out of it? It is the services will drop. And we don't want to witness where the people will be in the air and the plane will be dropping. And that is why it's your own plan to bring this confusion so that against the incoming government. And we said no. We will call this incoming government that this is what is in the plan. This is what is written that he brought this confusion, and we are not going to allow it. That's why we are alerting the whole world. We are alerting the coming government. So first of all, because we have a lot of countries in the country right now. The head of president, head of other countries in this country right now. So they must go back safely. They must come safely. We must make sure that it's safely. But with the damage that this man has done, if it continues like this, I'm sorry, I'm afraid the air travelers will be in danger.
Okay, now there have been strike actions in the past. Last month there was a strike action by workers in the aviation industry, and the strike was called off. It was called off, and one would wonder if your needs were met. You know, one would wonder if that was a reason for calling off the strike. But apparently, from the way you're sounding, I think your needs were not met. So why then did you call it off? Why did you go back to the table? And
very good question. God bless you. You see, it is the intervention of the Federal House of Committee, Federal House of Assembly, National Assembly, particularly the chairman, House Committee on Aviation, appealed to us passionately. He waded into it, and this is how he has been doing. He's a very good person. That representative is a real man. That is the one that made us to suspend. We don't call off. We suspend that action. He appealed to us pending the outcome of his intervention. And recently, you see that he has warned and advised the Minister Sirika to stay clear of NCAA, because NCAA is autonomous. Is the watchword on the industry. But they have put NCA as one of the department of the Ministry of Aviation. They have put FAN as one of the department of the Ministry of Aviation. The same thing NAMA. the same thing in Cat, the same thing in United. Why should that one be so? And they'll be looking at him. We are saying no. We have meeting with him. We have advised him. He will just pretend as if he's here, but he will be going for his own personal ambition with his cronies. I think that. So now that we have told the chairman House Committee on Aviation that, well, we have honored you, we have honored the National Assembly, but it means this man, by opening his mouth, that the National Assembly cannot stop him from demolishing the government property in Lagos. Then that is where the whole thing gets haywire. If a honorable minister of a federal republic of Nigeria can categorically that the National Assembly cannot stop him from demolishing FAN headquarters in Lagos, SCA headquarters, and NAMA, then who is that person in Nigeria at all?
All right.
When you come to Lagos and see that the Lagos operate 99% of aviation business, what does it mean? Does it mean well for the incoming government? No, and we cannot allow that. That is why we are exposing, that is why we are challenging him, that's why we are calling on the incoming government to put their searchlight on aviation and correct all these anomalies in order to save the lives of air travelers.
All right.
Now, Victor, you've heard Comrade Saidu Abdulrazak, basically what he said.
Yes.
What, Victor?
Yes.
Victor, are you with us? All right, Victor. What do you think would give Hadi Sirika the spine to maintain that the National Assembly cannot stop him from doing what he wants to do? Do you think this is beyond the National Assembly? Possibly, he could be getting his audacious charisma from the president. Is it possible that that's the body language that he's exuding?
Of course, yes. If you see, with what our gentleman just said there, you agree with me that there are lots of issues in the aviation industry, and from what I gathered, the minister have been working in contrary to many, regulations and of course body that form the aviation industry. However, this administration have been known to, I'm talking about the outgoing administration now, have been known to be an administration that does things, without minding the repercussion. How would you justify a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria saying that the House of Assembly can't, stop him from demolishing a government property, and of course, and is not in consonant with, the relevant body, with the relevant body in the aviation industry. Yes, I'm not an aviation expert, but the truth is, with the issues surrounding the whole, flight. Because take it from me, I think I saw somewhere that just to confirm what Mr. Saidu said, that it's just a test flight. It's a test flight, and it hasn't passed through some, it hasn't gone through some check or some, for the lack of better word now, it hasn't gone through some testing, yes, to be sure that if it's safe for Nigerians to fly. So, but the question many will ask, why towards the tail end of the administration? Why today of all days? What happened 8 years? What happened 4 years ago? Why now? And you're going all the way, and you're going in partnership, of course, with Ethiopia Airline to bring in the flight, only God knows where. And of course, you want Nigerians to ride in it, and of course, jeopardize people's life. That's to tell you, people, and it's sad to say the least.
All right, Comrade Saidu. Do you actually believe that the national carrier will fly before May 29th?
I really don't see that coming to bear. But I mean, we have a government that say things, and the next part of it they'll say, "Oh, I wasn't aware I said it," or "That was not what I meant," or "I meant to say that yes, we intend to make it fly today, but due to some technicalities, it couldn't fly." That can come up later today. But from his words, as he said, if I'm to quote, nothing will stop the airline from flying today. Today being on the 26th.
All right, you said you're indifferent, and today, beyond just the national carrier being to be flown, we also have the hearing commencing proper. And the comrade said that a lot of heads of state are in the country at the moment. So don't you think that that would be a spur or a propellant for Hadi Sirika and the aviation industry to ensure that they keep to their word that definitely the national carrier will fly today?
You see, it's funny that we have people who no longer value their words. But I want to believe that the Minister, Aviation Minister Sirika, would keep to his words this time, and of course would make sure, because right now a lot of diplomats and international bodies and of course presidents are in the country waiting to see that happen. But of course, I mean, I want to go with what Comrade Saidu said. When you see a magician, you can't but wait to see him perform what he has to. So I think that is what is playing out. And trust me, to be on. Perhaps maybe as we speak now, maybe the flight is on its way to Nigeria, and of course, to be decorated. And I hope that with the threat being pulled out, by I mean, the relevant body in the aviation industry to ground the plane because of the fear of the safety for Nigerians, that don't come to bear, because that would of course give us a bad image to international organization, of course, diplomats that are in the country, and that is not good for the incoming administration, of course, for Nigeria as a whole. So we really hope that the promise is kept. I hope that that one is kept, and I hope that the minister quickly, call a roundtable talk, to all the bodies, and of course address their grievances, so as to avoid or to, so as to avoid any unforeseen.
All right, Victor. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us right here on VOP this morning. We appreciate your input. All right.
Thank you for having me,
Yes.
and thank you, Nigerians. And we hope that Nigeria is blessed, and we hope that the incoming administration, supersede our expectations. And trust me, I'll be the first to sing its praise.
Thank you for that one as well. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into business and then entertainment.